Well, welcome back. Many of you know I am moving away soon, but during that move, I have already scheduled and started filming a series I call One, and One, where I talk about one product, one curriculum, and I answer one question. So it's a little bit of information for you every day or two to keep you going till I get internet again. Okay, so today we are talking about my 5 best picks for a full language arts curriculum because there are a few of them. First, we have products of the day. I want to show you through this amazing landmarks book. I used it when I did my architecture unit with my kids. So there's a great architecture unit. I will try and find the video and attach it at the end, but it's a free curriculum. It's one of the first videos I ever made, so it was quite a while ago. But basically it talks about, like, here's the Taj Mahal. So the only complaint people have, I mean, it's a wonderful book. The only complaint is it only has a few like amazing landmark stories. So it only has a few amazing landmarks in the world that it discusses, but it's so interesting. It's got interesting stories for them all. It's amazing how many monuments were created just from contests. Okay, so next up I got Universes of the Mystery. There's this curriculum that I'm gonna review, and I have a review video planned that I just haven't sat down and filmed it yet, but it's from Rabbit Trails, and this is the book they use. So it's not a Christian book, it's not a secular book, it's just a book about space, but it's like in the universe. And it's just so cool. The rocky planets. It comes with a bookmark, which you know I love. Beautiful pictures, really useful information if you wanted to DIY your own space unit, but I encourage you to look at her space unit because the activities she has are totally doable. That's what I love, is they're really interesting, really great activities. Okay. It is Bible-based, so there's a ton of Bible information in it as well. An alternative to that program, if you want a secular one, would be Blossom and Root. There's Space One, which I've talked about it and showed you on here before. So this is my amazing history curriculum. This is from Abeka, which I love, but which I'm not going to continue using just because, I mean, I will probably use this book just because of the cost of it. And so that's why I wanted to talk to you today. But first, your piece of advice. So think about this. If you go year-round, 3 days a week, and you do 6 weeks increments, so for math, for a portion of language arts, depending on what you're working on, then maybe spelling, maybe reading, whatever, and then say geography or history, and you do it in 6 weeks increment, you are able to fully deep dive into that subject where you're doing like 3 math lessons a day, just because the amount of to pull your head back into completing that, it may make it, especially for older children, easier to complete and easier to do. And plus, kids learn a lot better when they're fully immersed. And then it's almost like a study unit, which kids learn really well in. So they're able to immerse themselves in that. So even though if you don't finish it in 6 weeks, you're like, okay, well, we got to pick science up back, you know, in another rotation. Just consider that. It might be a way to do it. I do that, like I do spelling and math like year round. But for 6 weeks increments, I pick something that I want to focus on with the kids, 1 or 2 subjects. Okay. So that was your advice. So let's talk about which language arts curriculums are full encompassing curriculums. Of course, you have the free one, which is The Good and the Beautiful. That's all encompassing. That even has art mixed in as you get older as well. So it's got, like, it features a couple photographs and things like that in the younger years and paintings. And then as you get older, you're actually doing some artwork with pastels and things like that. So I think that's very interesting. The next full curriculum, because now understand when I say full curriculum, I mean that deals with reading, writing, spelling sometimes, but basically literature. But remember, not all curriculums are like really excellent at doing all those things. A curriculum that does all those things, of course, is Common Sense Press. I've showed you that. They're really good on the literature too. That's the component that a lot of programs I think are weak on. Abeka has an all-in-one language arts program as well. A lot of these programs, like you'll see like Winter's Promise and be like, that's an all-in-one. No, it's not. They sub out and they use the code. So, which is fine. It's just that if you, we're talking all-in-one curriculums that you only have to buy like this one package from, and you can utilize that. So Abeka does have that. The problem is the cost. Like you're talking $1,000 for your kindergarten, but you can pay an extra $500 on top of that if you want another teacher to teach your child because they have video lessons as well. So that's an interesting option. And again, I'm very eclectic, so I just pull parts from a lot of different curriculums. An all-in-one curriculum, if you have someone who has learning issues, would be the Right Brain Phonics, because they do Right Brain Phonics, they do the writing, they even have a math one as well. So and they have a spelling, so it's all added in there. It doesn't really have too much of it even has some literacy in there too as well. So again, let me see if there's any curriculum I am forgetting, because I thought I had one more that was all in one. Oh yeah, and one more is the Logic of English. They also have a really well-reviewed, well-loved, all-in-one curriculum. So if you're looking for something that is specifically Christian, you can go The Good and the Beautiful, and you can go Abeka. If you are looking for something that is secular or neutral, you can go Common Sense Press, and you can go The Logic of English. So, and Right Brain Phonics as well. So those are your options if you wanted like an all-in-one encompassing curriculum. Now, Common Sense Press and Abeka, they do have strong literature programs. The other ones, I wouldn't say they have them as strong as those two I mentioned, but I mean, for a literature program, you just get books that you like to read and you guys just read a lot. Like, it doesn't have to be this thing where you sit down and it's like, okay, tell me this, tell me that. Now, what I've done is I've gotten all the Abeka readers and I'm using them as kind of my substitute literacy program while not purchasing the rest of Abeka just because of the cost value. I don't know, and I almost want to say the kindergarten's a little intensive, but the rest of the programs, like I've showed you through some of the history here, I'll give you a flip through and stuff like that. It's not that intensive. So this is history and geography reader. It's not that intensive. And see, that's what I like about Abeka is everything's labeled, but it's very gentle, and it was designed kind of to be taught in schools. So because it is an in-school curriculum in a way, Christian private schools use it, there's not a lot of like assignments or anything that you have to do, right? There's not a lot of activities to do. So it's kind of cool just to sit down and read a little portion of it during the day. Like, I bring it with me. You can honestly pull these Abeka things out at like doctor's offices, and while you're sitting there waiting, cover, like while one is in speech, I cover a section, and when the other one comes out, I switch. Because that's the thing too, is you can teach it with, like, this could be the grade 1, but it could be up to grade 2, but it could be, even kindergarten if you wanted. So, because it's gentle enough for all 3 years, and it's interesting enough, and you do learn some information. So there you go, that was your video today. I know once I move, my videos will be back to having all the different elements in it, but I'm starting to pack stuff up, and so it's a big move. It's a big move, but one of our last moves, so thank goodness for that. And then after we move, I have a cross-country trip that we're doing, and then finally we'll be at our new place. I've already ordered internet, so as soon as it's up, but like I said, I have lots of videos to entertain you, lots of shorts where I'm doing flip-throughs of different curriculums, which is kind of fun, and then my one-in-one. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And hit the bell for notifications.